on today? Alright, let's see. What? 1 month? 3 if you include my gaming video.
Oh my god, bro.
Alright, listen. I know I've been lacking, and I already know what you're gonna say. You said you were gonna upload more. Alright, well, that's my bad. I've been busy playing games and sitting on my ass, but that's different. That's a whole different thing. I just wanted to say my bad for not keeping no promises, even though I didn't promise. I feel like I let down my... How many? 275 subscribers? When did that happen? Oh my god, now I feel worse. Alright, well, before I make this intro any longer than it has to be, I'm gonna go ahead cut to the chase. Deep Rock Galactic. A 4-player cooperative FPS.
No, unacceptable.
Where you have to work together with your team or with your boy Bosco to complete the objective and get out alive. However, with the 4 different classes and their own unique abilities, some characters are going to have a little more difficulty doing some things that the other characters excel at, simply because of what is in their kit. And as you could probably tell, this video is about the driller and what his kit can do to help himself and his team. I will go over all of the other classes, but those are going to be in separate videos. And as you can tell from the footage behind me, I'm something of a driller mate myself. So not only does it make sense that driller is the first video, it also makes sense to, use the other characters so that I can actually make videos. But besides that, this is Driller's Day. So let's just jump into it already. This beautiful piece right here is the Crisper Flamethrower, Driller's main primary that he starts off with. And since I can't undo upgrades, I'm just gonna use it maxed out, along with everything else the Driller has. But it's not all bad because I can give you my opinion on what the better upgrades are. So going from top to bottom, we got bigger mags, longer sticky flames, pause, sticky flames slow enemies down, more total ammo because you can never get enough of that, and finally the glyphids explode. With the flamethrower being what it is, of course it's going to clear out 4 of the glyphids in seconds. The single target damage is obviously really good, but it's not recommended as you don't have that much ammo. But if you're fighting a big strong opponent, then it's really the only option, as the secondaries are another matter. This right here is the The pistol. Even without the upgrades, it's honestly a solid weapon. The upgrades, of course, just make it better. As shown with the bigger mag, more damage, more ammo, hollow points for even more damage, and a 2-round burst. All of this making the pistol as good as it can be. Because whether you're in a pinch or you're just looking to not use your flamethrower or primary, then honestly it's a pretty good alternative, especially with the double shot upgrade, making quick work of all of the bugs. Even if it only shoots once, then either way you're good. But moving on, we're going to talk about Driller's drills and what makes them so special. And it's probably the second reason why you would want to pick Driller, and that the upgrades that you would put on make it drill faster. You can use it faster after you overheat, make it drill even faster, and you can make it have even more ammo, which is pretty self-explanatory. The drill... Jesus. The drills... Are you done now? Cool. Although they are a little loud, the drills make quick work of the terrain, completely disregarding the fact that you have to go through the little cave system, allowing you to cut your walking time in half, and being able to destroy most things that dare cross your path. But not minerals. You still have to mind that. Next up, we got the satchel charge. You want to do big damage with a big boom? This is it. Especially with more damage, the ability to pick it back up in the instance you miss a throw somehow, more bombs, and a chance to stun. It might not seem like it at first, but because this enemy has a lot of health, it does a decent amount of damage, especially if it's to a lot of glyphids. But I personally use it in a last-ditch effort to try and kill something huge, because it's one of the only things in Driller's arsenal that can pretty much one-shot most things, and get you out of a hairy situation quickly. But be warned, because it can kill you and your friends just as good as it can kill glyphids, so use it only when you're out of range. Now onto the throwables. When you start off as Driller, you get a throwable axe, which is basically just a tomahawk from Call of Duty. It does really good damage, but the only downside is that it doesn't get a group of glyphids. So in my opinion, you're most likely better off just getting the regular grenade, because with the grenade, you can kill at least 5 more than you would with the axe. And since we're on the topic of compromises for grenades, if you really like running the flamethrower, then the neurotoxin is probably best for you, as it acts like a gas grenade normally, but when you add some heat to it from the flamethrower, And for the final throwable, we got the spring-loaded Ripper. This bad boy is my favorite. Because let's say you find yourself in a predicament just like this. You are in the middle of a horde of glyphids, and now you're getting hurt a lot. And you decide to take out your throwable, which just so happens to be the Ripper, not Jack. But it gets the job done just like him. Because this thing just shreds through all of the glyphids. And not only that, it can come around multiple times. Meaning that if you were in a tunnel that you dug, you could aim it at a wall and it could spin until it breaks. During its whole duration, it could kill a lot of glyphids in just one go. Meaning this would be my number one throwable pick for Driller. And one last thing to add is that the Ripper can actually hurt you and your teammate. So make sure to stay clear from its path. And now we are finally taking a look at the other weapons that I did not cover. Starting off with the Corral Cannon and the upgrades that I have on it. The upgrades being that it shoots sooner after a trigger pull. It shoots sooner if you empty the pressure tank. The pressure tank refills faster. It does more direct damage, of which I'm starting to see a theme here. Finally, that frozen targets have a chance to shatter. Differences between the Corral Cannon and the flamethrower don't end that one shoots hot and one shoots cold. The biggest difference being that the Corral Cannon can actually freeze targets in place instead of just slowly cooking the target alive. This can actually be a good thing as you can freeze Praetorians. And not only that, once you freeze an enemy, they take extra damage, making them way easier to kill as they are just standing still waiting to take it. This makes the Corral Cannon either on par or a little better than the flamethrower, as the Corral Cannon has the added benefits of being able to stop targets in their tracks and deal more damage to said targets, letting you finish them off using either a pickaxe swing or your sidearm, one of them being the experimental plasma charger. This in my opinion being the better of the three pistols, as it has a higher rate of fire than the original pistol, meaning you can trigger finger it faster. It does more damage and it has a charge shot, which deals more damage. And the upgrades make it so that the normal shots do more damage. Yeah, I'm definitely seeing a theme here. Makes you hold the charge shot longer. The charge shots use less energy. Charge shots explosion does more damage. And the charge shots go through glyphids. I like this weapon better because it can clear out glyphids a little faster and it has a lot more ammo. The only problem I have with it is that it's like the plasma pistol from Halo, in the sense that if you shoot too much, you have to let it cool down. That's not entirely bad because like Halo, it can also charge up, which deals a lot more damage than normal. This does cause it to overheat a little faster, but that shouldn't be an issue, as you can upgrade it to make it so that it takes less time. But overall, it's a gun that I would choose over the other two options. Now we're going to talk about Driller's last primary, the Corrosive Sludge Pump. This bad boy right here has been in my loadout ever since I bought it, and that was a long time ago. And the reason I like it is because it does a lot of damage very quickly and consistently. And the upgrades I put on greatly to increase its performance in battle, like this upgrade where it makes the puddles bigger. The charge shots leave behind more puddles, more ammo because that's a theme around here. Charge shots require less ammo, and it adds a status effect that slowly corrodes enemies, which is honestly more brutal than the flamethrower, I gotta say, because this weapon should be classified as a weapon of mass destruction with the way it just murders everything in sight. Its time to kill is crazy fast, and with a charge shot you can even kill way more than you can do with just one shot. You can even play Splatoon if you really wanted to. As with the spillback extension upgrade, you can have a lot more puddles than you normally would. This makes the glyphids take some damage and make them easier to kill, which would be a job for a sidearm. Any sidearm, in fact. But we haven't talked about this sidearm yet, so now is the perfect time. You know how people say they saved the best for last? In my personal opinion, I don't think I did. Because like I said, in my opinion, you know, you can always make your own Colette wave cooker gun be pretty good, but I just don't think it's good for me. But enough with subjectiveness, we need to talk about the upgrades and what's on it. The upgrades I put on it to try and make it the best it can be for me would be more ammo, it heats up slower, the microwave beam slows glyphids down, it shoots faster, and specifically because I was using the Corrosive Sludge Pump, I put on Contagion Transmitter, which means that when glyphids that are affected by the debuff on the Corrosive Sludge Pump that I talked about earlier, or I think if they were just shot with it, but I'm not really sure on that, they would explode and have a chance to infect other glyphids nearby. If you were using the Cryo Cannon or the Flamethrower, then you can use this upgrade right here, which causes the glyphids to either explode in a fiery blast, or explode and be like Mordecai in that one episode when he took too much mints. Like the plasma charger, it has a cooldown if you shoot for too long. But also like the plasma charger, if you watch your heat, you're fine. The exploding of the glyphids really helps, as without it, it's not really as good as either the plasma charger or just the Subata. However, where it lacks with damage, range thrives. Even though it's labeled as a submachine gun, this thing can kill a glyphid from across a cave system easy. So I'll go ahead and give a point to the wave cooker for not having any damage drop off. I'll also give it another point because it can also slow down a whole crowd of glyphids, but only if you have that one upgrade, which really makes it hit or miss. I'll also give it another point for it being able to go through armor, because even though it doesn't do as much damage, it's going to be able to do that damage to glyphids without having to break its armor first. This is it. This is my loadout. The one I use when I'm not telling you about the other weapons. Driller has been my main for a while, hence why he's almost a 2-star now, and why literally everything is maxed out. So now I'm going to go ahead and tell you what weapons I use. Starting with the corrosive sludge pump, with all the same upgrades except the little overclock that's right there. When you charge your shot now, instead of it being one big old ball of goo, it shoots all of the goo that was supposed to come out the one big one all at once. And in a vain effort to try and balance this, the devs made it so that it has a longer reload time and less ammo. And not only do I have an overclock on that, I also have an overclock on the Subata. This makes it so that when you shoot a glyphid and reload, they blow up. To balance this one out, they put less ammo and a lower mag size. This makes it easier to kill bigger targets. The video is technically over now, and you can stop watching. I have nothing else left to show you. The only thing I can tell you now is that everything here that I said throughout the whole video is solely my opinion. You can use any gun you want. The only thing that matters here in this video that you should take to heart is have fun. And if you're having fun, then that's really all I care about. And with all that out of the way, thank you for watching to the end, and I'll see you whenever I upload.